Good morning, everybody. I love that I had everything set up and ready to go at 5:55. Grabbed my coffee and walked back in, and I had 1 minute and 11 seconds until I needed to go live. Just what a wonderful Monday! What a fantastic Monday! Weather is beautiful outside. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Storms came through, cleansed things, and then everything was just lush and green yesterday. And I've noticed the mosquitoes are less. And if you're in Minnesota, that makes a huge difference to all of us. It was a pleasant surprise. So I hope you had a wonderful weekend. This is a great way to start your Monday. Every Monday is fantastic. It's kind of like a reset and an opportunity to just start the week fresh and new and come at it with a positive attitude. Coffee helps. And my Four Sigmatic, I have a little extra in it today. I put some coriander in there, just some coriander seed, and it takes a while, but the heat kind of opens up the flavor of the coriander. And you can taste it. The taste is subtle, but it's the aroma that as soon as you put your face in there, your nose in there to take a sip, you're breathing in that coriander. It's just cleansing and refreshing. Cleansing is kind of our topic for today, as it should be every day. Um, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my routine this morning. So I am now brewing a new batch of kombucha. I was using store-bought kombucha, and we have fantastic SCOBY in the kitchen. Her name is Mabel, and I just need to renew her and get her bubbling again and get her going again. I don't know if I've said this, but you are always welcome to come and get a Mabel baby. Stop by. We have some empty jars, or bring your own jar, and we'll put a SCOBY in there from our mother. We'll put a SCOBY in there. Great love, intention, and quite a bit of age on this SCOBY, and she's fantastic. She can turn over kombucha in about 2 weeks and does really, really well. We're going to experiment a little bit with what fruits we put in the kombucha. A friend of Esme's, and I'm going to have also an old Taekwondo student, but I'm going to have in the link below after I'm done with the live some information about somebody local who also does kombucha. And Esme is starting some with her SCOBY at home also, and super simple process to put some fermentation into your system, some great bacteria to help your own internal microbiome. And it's fun. Growing your own stuff is fun. Cooking your own stuff is fun. There's so much more intent and love when you do it yourself that you are putting all that inside of you. I wish I could think of the name of the scientist, and if you've ever seen any of it, it'll pop into your head right away. There was a scientist who did experiments on just writing on the outside of many different ways, but one of the ways was writing words of love on the outside of a jar of water, or negative words, or words of hate or anger or fear. And what ended up happening to both of those types of water underneath the microscope. And it's amazing, amazing. So I'm guessing you already know what the result was. Put those good intentions into everything that you put into your body, especially if you're working with those things on your own and cultivating those things on your own, really detoxifying, grounding, or whatever intent you happen to put in there. So coriander, great detoxifier. Along with, I have some MCT powder in there too. I like to balance that coffee out. I'm not necessarily well, I shouldn't say that. I am a flavored coffee person. It's just that I like those natural flavors. And I like my coffee bitter, not sweet, but mellow. And that just makes that perfect combination. This is how I know the mosquitoes are less. I was out in my garden this morning. I have a couple of raised beds and an herb garden, and went out to grab some herbs this morning to share with you, although I get the benefit more so than you because you can't smell through video. But hopefully you get the idea. So what I brought today was rosemary and it's one of my favorites. It is so earthy and potent and almost a piney kind of a smell, but fantastic in cooking and so simple, so simple. This one I bring in over the winter. Most of the time you can keep it alive over the winter, but all of these are really easy to grow. The next one's super easy to grow. So besides rosemary, I also have spearmint, any type of a mint. You need to be careful with. If you've experienced this before, do not plant this anywhere where you do not want it to spread. So this is a great container plant because it goes crazy. And there's so many different things medicinally and cooking wise you can do with mint. Um, this is great. Just throw this in your water during the day. Water is a fantastic detoxifier. We really encourage people to be drinking water, water, water all day long. And some people get bored of drinking water or are so used to, I think, are so used to it being flavored that they need some type of flavoring in there. Well, throwing in some type of a citrus or some type of an herb or cucumber or melon works fantastic to kind of give that a little bit of flavor without putting any toxins inside of there. Um, Mint is a fantastic one to put in there. Also great for different types of, especially Indian cooking, but or Asian cooking, but different types of cooking. The next one I have is parsley, and parsley is also going crazy this year. I didn't grab any cilantro. I wanted to talk a little bit about epigenetics or genetics with cilantro. And cilantro and parsley, a lot of times people get confused, and they're totally different tastes for me. And I'm wondering if you know anybody who has an aversion to cilantro. And I was always curious about this, so I did a little bit of research. And so those people who think cilantro has like a soapy taste, genetically their body is triggered to, and all of ours are, just it's what to what extent we retain that. Their body is saying this might be poison. So there's an aversion to things that you put inside your mouth that aren't supposed to be in there. And this is something that, although cilantro is great for you and it's detoxifying, but it's an indication that it's something that you don't like. Which leads me to talk about understanding your body's reactions, and we'll talk a little bit about homeopathic response. So I have many patients who come in and, good morning, Freya, and who are really immune to their own body's signals, and that's a part of how they get to the unhealthy place that they are. When your body is clean and your body is healthy, it signals you when you aren't supposed to have things in it. You either get like a kind of like a little cough, or maybe you notice in your joints they start to feel a little bit more achy. The obvious one would be any stomach pain, any bloating, any headache, any fogginess. All of those things are the way your body tells you shouldn't be having that. Usually those symptoms in health, the more healthy the system is, the more immediate in most cases that reaction is going to be. But that can be up to a couple of hours of a reaction within the system. So whenever you start to have any of those symptoms, then look back over the last 2 hours and just realize, think about what you ate. Realize some of that your body might be telling you you're not supposed to eat. On the other end of the spectrum, unhealthy systems really don't give an indication to the body that it's sick. The example, the analogy that I give patients many times is that somebody can go to McDonald's every single day, not food, and my little magic wand here. They can go to McDonald's every single day and tell me that they eat McDonald's every single day and say it's fantastic. I feel great. Doesn't bother me a bit. Well, that's a comparison. You feel great in comparison to what? If you always feel crappy, that's your comparison. So you still feel crappy. Whereas if I went in and ate anything from McDonald's, what would end up happening is it would come shooting out of my body one way or the other. Sorry to be gross this morning, but my body would immediately say that's not something you should have in the system and reject that and try to get that out of the system. And that's a healthy response. It's just that when your body is so full of toxicity, it doesn't recognize the difference. The comparison isn't there. And so detoxifying your system um, is always necessary, even for healthy people, because of environmental toxins that we have. But detoxifying the system, then what ends up happening, this is one of my favorites. We talk about farting and pooping and digestion and some pretty gross things here all day long, and it's hilarious. I'm still a little kid at heart. If you say poop or fart, I still think it's pretty funny. and you hear us giggling a ton here. But detoxifying the system, what ends up happening is those toxins are inside of you and they need to get out. And how are they going to get out? Most of the time by pooping and farting. So what ends up happening when unhealthy people, and even when healthy people, put things in their system that detoxify the system, lots of gas, lots of really stinky bad gas. And so if you eat broccoli and it gives you gas, the broccoli doesn't smell like that gas. The broccoli doesn't have gas in it. The gas is coming from you or the toxins inside of you. The broccoli just detoxifies to break up those things that are within your system, and your body sheds those out or gets rid of those. That's fantastic. We think that's wonderful. Pooping and farting is wonderful. And if you want us to ever talk to you about pooping or farting, just stop by or schedule an appointment. But so we're going along the lines of detoxification today. I'll talk a little bit more about detoxification in just a second. I want to get through the rest of my beautiful herbs that I have here. I have some sage and just a huge, beautiful, big leaves this time of year. This works fantastic for taking these leaves and for drying and for making your own sage bundles, or you can dry it and just simply burn a leaf at a time. That's where that shell usually works really well, is to put some of that in there. And then you can dry many different herbs. All of these will probably either get used today or we'll put them out for drying, and then crumble them, and then you can use dried herbs. So at the end of the season, if your herbs aren't fresh and they're staying outside, still gather all of those up and dry them and put them in jars and utilize them. But you can use this for sage bundles. I think that works fantastic, and make your own. I also have dill. Dill is another one of those you have to be very careful with. Like mint in your garden, it will spread. It will want to go many different places. Most people know dill for pickles. One of my favorites is for tzatziki. And tzatziki, you can look up a recipe for tzatziki, but it's a great alternative to when people like dips, or a great fresh detoxifying, clean, flavorful thing, using usually use organic goat yogurt, and then it's basically a lot of dill, some cucumber in there, and you blend that all up, and it's just a great for dipping many different things. It's also, if you like spicy food, it's a great complement to that because it cools things down. The last one that I have here hidden underneath is lemon balm. This one is just so potent citrus. I love this one. Really easy to grow. Um, Also a great one to have in your water to make that refreshing. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a trick on herbs. If you want to release their aroma but still keep them intact, so if you're putting them in your water bottle, or maybe even putting them into um, like a sachet that you can put herbs in, and then put that into like a soup or a stew or a curry or something, so that you still have it solid and not all chopped up. You just kind of percuss it. So, and that immediately just releases all of that fantastic aroma. And then you still have a full leaf left. And I have it, slide all of these off. What I am using today, you can see that beautiful piece of artwork. Um, this is something that we have on our Etsy store, but this is, and also in the clinic. This is glass work done by my mom. She has a fantastic studio at their place and does stained glass and mosaic and fused glass and so many other different things. She is enormously creative, and Speaking of creating things with intent or doing things with your hand, she has some wonderful pieces. If you're interested in any of that, you can always just ask. So I wanted to get a little bit more into, with my little bit of time left, detoxification, and go into a little bit more about supplements and detoxification. My rule is always that it's better to get your nutrients from food than it is from supplements. But even if you're eating all organic, even if you're growing all of your food, there are some things that it's very difficult to transform within your system, and difficult to get within your system, difficult to absorb within your system. And so supplementation is a great way to make sure that you're well rounded. When, and so there's some recommendations that we do for every patient that's on a maintenance. So once you've gotten to that level of wellness, we still are recommending that you're getting a probiotic in. We're still recommending that you get a really good, high quality, clean source of omegas in, and usually a multivitamin, multi-mineral. And those are kind of our basics that we want you to put into your system every day. If you're ever wondering about, am I taking a good quality supplement, you can always reach out to us. We have some fantastic resources. This is what we do a lot of all day long, is nutrition and supplementation. We love to work more with wellness patients than we do with acute or chronic illnesses, but we work with both and we have recommendations for both. We always offer a free discovery call or a free one-on-one consultation with one of the RHC team to answer some questions for you and discover if there are some ways that we can assist you. We also have some great online resources for that. So if you visit our website, you go under shop, and any of the supplement products that we have on there require you to complete an online health history or to set up a call with us. And again, that initial call is free. And so is the online health history. That online health history gives us an in-depth look at your entire system. We're looking for contraindications. We're looking for indications of illness. We're looking for many things so we can get a picture of how your system is functioning, and then reach out if we have more questions or make recommendations for supplementation from there. And we have some fantastic resources. We have some physician only recommended products that are potent, high quality, that patients can't access directly. You have to go through a physician. And we can organize and put together a protocol utilizing things like Physica Energetics or DesBio or Nutridyne or Metagenics or Standard Process. We have such a large realm of supplements that we have access to, that we combine or individualize a protocol for you so that that will be the best for your system. We never just do that. We are always also making meal recommendations, making sleep recommendations, making exercise recommendations. Wellness, whole body wellness has to work with lifestyle changes. It has to work with the whole body. And so supplementation on its own is my classic 300-pound patient that walks in with back pain and says, fix my back pain with one chiropractic adjustment. That alone is pretty amazing. But to try to reverse years and years of damage to their spine in just basically minutes. But more so is their back didn't get like that just because their back went out. There's a series of steps of symptoms of lifestyle decisions that got them there. And for me to address their low back pain, we have to address the whole person. We have to address the whole lifestyle. And that's really what we are about at Regional Health Center, is looking at all of those areas of care. And we have such a great team here for different resources. Each one of us has different specialty, and we discuss all patients' wellness and care plans together. And it's so much fun listening to everybody coming up with different ideas. Have we tried this? Did we do this? And sometimes even just personality links different with each different patient that we have. A different care team member here might resonate a little bit differently with them. Side note that I don't want to forget to mention, if you're watching us live on Facebook, you've probably already have seen, we are looking for some more team members, especially another chiropractor. I can't handle the patient load that we are seeing here. So we're looking for another chiropractor to come in, join our team, and be a long-term asset to this practice and to this community. If you've ever been in the Richmond, Cold Spring area, This is a fantastic place to live. More importantly, a fantastic place to raise your children. And the environment that we have at the office here is, well, ask anybody who's been here and they'll explain, or just come and visit us and you'll understand. And we are also looking for a couple other team members. We're looking for somebody who can run front desk, a chiropractic assistant. We're looking for an insurance manager or accounts receivable person. If you have those skills and you're local, you know us, you know what we're like here, and you think you'd be a good fit, please reach out to us and let us know. Um, Next, I'm going to go, well, I don't want to forget to say also that we also are putting together a supplement quiz. Part of the reason of the prompt for this is there's recently been a Journal of American Medicine article that came out regarding supplementation. And I wanted to give a good perspective on that. I wanted to give some education to our patients who have raised a lot of really good questions after reading that documentation. The side note, I really have noticed that a lot of the information that's put out there now, a lot of the data, the research articles, this is oh, my hands smell fantastic. Research articles that I'm seeing are referencing other people who have referenced other articles, and we always recommend that you do your own research, dive deep, educate yourself. That is the key to life, is education. Um, when you're doing this, you do have to peel back the layers. And a lot of times what I'm seeing is that the headline is not indicative of what the body of the researcher or the abstract, even what all of the information that's being provided is. There, the two things are not necessarily related, which is unique to me. And we're a society of want it fast, want it now, just give me the headlines. And when that ends up happening, you don't get the full perspective or the full picture, and you're certainly not educating yourself. It should just create a question and create more questions. So within probably the next week, we're going to have our supplement quiz online out. And the supplement quiz is really to test your knowledge and at the same time give you education about some of these questions that are coming up about supplements. Again, food first and then supplementation. And detoxification, which is the key to the day, which I've just barely even touched on. So detoxification with supplementation. We have different levels of detoxification and many different protocols for detoxification. One of the levels that I always recommend patients start with is elimination. And you've heard me, if you've watched me ever, you've heard me say this again and again. This is kind of a mantra around here. If it's not food, it's not food. That shouldn't need defining. Many times it does. If it's not food, then it's not food means if it's not food, it's not food. It seems pretty obvious to me, but it really isn't to everybody. Food isn't processed. Food may be cooked, but should not be processed. Once you've started processing it, then it's no longer food. And so basically you should be eating main sources of food, then throw them together in your own recipes and make wonderful things. Obviously use wonderful herbs too, because they're helpful, but start with food. If you're going to detoxify your system, just putting in a ton of really good vegetables, and the more bitter, the better. So those Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, those types of things that have that bitter taste are huge potent detoxifiers within your system. Start integrating that into your diet, clean your diet up, and then there are individual types of programs. Um, Many times we will full body cleanse, many times we will individual organ cleanse, but there are sequences dependent on what your base health is and what your history is and what conditions you have. There are sequences that you need to go through, and you should always do this physician guided for a complete detoxification. The main point that I wanted to make, because many people go through online media driven detoxifications that they see, and one of the largest faults that I see with this is, yes, they do clean out your system, but in a harsh way. And then they don't re-inoculate your microbiome. They don't put the good bacteria in, or we're made up. The bulk of us is bacteria, and you need good microbiome, good bacteria within your system for overall health. And so you have to re-inoculate after also, and that's a key piece to detoxification. Um, enough on detoxification for now. If you're interested in any more information, please reach out to us individually. I want to get to the last couple of steps of what we always do when we do the Monday mornings or when we do the lives. I want to give you a little bit of sound therapy, and then I want to pull a card for you. So I brought in heart chakra today. Oh, I just got a wave of energy going through, and that most of the time that's coming from the universe and it's coming from you guys. That wave of energy is a lot of heart pain felt since yeah, go to the media. I won't give it weight or name. But there's a lot of heaviness out there, and there's a lot of confusion out there. There's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of unknowing out there, and keep your hearts open. Help others heal. You can help others heal. You can help others understand. You can help educating by keeping yourself calm. That calmness, that groundedness, that balance, put that energy field out there, and it influences people, and you draw more people like that to you. And hopefully we've helped to give you many different tools for how you get grounded and balanced and separate yourself from that chaos. Understand that that chaos is a part of you too. We're all a part of this universe, and we're in some imbalance right now, but that's great. And I use this analogy: if you've ever cleaned out the junk drawer in your house, we all have a junk drawer in the house, if not many. You really have to take that out, dump the whole thing out on the table, then decide what you're going to keep, decide what you're going to give away, decide what you're going to throw. But within that chaos, then comes order. And so until you assess everything and look at everything, you can't decide the right direction to go. So stay balanced and share that. We're going to do heart chakra sound bowl today, and then I will pull you a card. Love this resonance. Freya is actually on the couch in my office here with me. I've always wondered if I could get her to, she howls for ambulances. Love her little howl lips. She usually just relaxes or sleeps when I'm doing sound bowl. Wow, that's beautiful. This cleanses everything. Hope your mood changed. Or maybe it was good and it just added to it. I have Sacred Spirit reading cards by Anna Stark today. One of the things that draws me to Oracle cards the most is the artwork on them. I also really enjoy when, wait, love potent cards. I really enjoy when they have a message on the bottom that I can, if I need a quick card pull throughout the day. I hope you're getting how potent that one is. That is crazy. I love when they have just on the bottom so that you can get an immediate message and make your own interpretation. I'm going to read to you what the book says on this one today. So this is Galactic Healer. And I just the vibrations, you see the energy coming off of there? I just can't believe the card pulls at the end of these sessions are just so appropriate and fantastic. Galactic Healer. Sacred crystal for this one is Moldavite. If you don't know about Moldavite, super powerful for spiritual connection and higher powers. Beautiful green stone, fairly expensive. And you want to make sure you get really good quality. There are some fakes out there with anything, but um, let's read what the rest of this says. We exist within a multiverse with multiple realities. Anything is possible if we set our mindset accordingly. My belief makes it so. Reaching beyond limitations is what is currently visible to us, enables humanity to continually evolve as a species, which I think is what we're doing right now. Sacred symbols, ancient architecture, and medicine have been inspired by astrological phenomena. You may find yourself searching for knowledge on ancient healing practices, energy work, or light-based information such as DNA coding, energetic downloads, sacred symbols, and self-healing techniques. That just summed me up over the last few months. A guiding hand of a star or galactic healer can facilitate profound healing. Experiencing frequent ringing in the ears, unusual hot flashes, or perhaps knowing answers to questions you have little experience or knowledge of will take focus as you adjust to this higher resonance. I hope this is speaking to you guys also. Born healers and psychics may experience deep soul activations as galactic healers are present in your life right now. You may feel particularly connected to Pleiadian, Orion, or Arcturian energy, and it is strongly recommended you discover more about this connection now. Honor your own connection, for at last this may identify why you have felt so isolated and misunderstood in life. You may already feel strongly connected to the times of ancient Egypt, Atlantis, and ancient Lemuria. If you don't know what a Lemurian stone is, do some research on that. Also very potent, powerful. It's one of those crystals that has ancient technology in it, but do some research. It's fantastic information out there. Now's the time to reawaken your inner knowing and the ancient knowledge that already resides within you. Knowing that a deep awakening is occurring now, and you must acknowledge how far you've already come in this journey of life. While remembering past life experiences can be advantageous to understanding your psyche, it is important to remember you can only integrate healing towards this level in the present moment through conscious thought. Try not to get lost in these connections. You must remember that your time now is in the present, and you must incorporate and embrace these aspects of you if you wish to further your understanding of self and share healing and knowledge with others. The shadow aspect of this is arrogance, oppressive leadership, irrational behavior. I'm a Leo. Angel assistance, Archangel Raphael, deep physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. And the affirmation for today, I'll leave you with this. I reawaken my soul's desire to learn and grow beyond existing limitations. I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next week. Again, reach out, RHC team at rhcliving.com if you have any questions. Otherwise, visit our website, rhcliving.com, and love everyone.